I know you got problems, know you at the bottom, know you took a loss today. Everybody want bottles, living for a throttle, you just want ball today. Tell me joy, where it's hiding, I've been trying to find it before I go all the way. Cause everybody got problems, everybody starving, but don't you go off today, yeah. Don't you go off, don't you go off now. That's right. Don't go off. Yeah. Don't you go off, don't you go off now. That's right. Look.
When I lived as a monk, one of my teachers would often say to me, he said, Jay, in times of uncertainty, don't look for certainty. Look for service. Look for how you can improve the lives of others, because in times of uncertainty, that will always be able to be found. But you won't always find happiness or joy. I love it. Thank you for listening to me on Calm.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you so much.
yes.
Thank you.
You're great.
Oh, I'm so grateful.
And
Wonderful to
I
meet
want a
you.
book.
Yes.
My daughter gave me your book.
Oh, no way.
And then another of my daughter bought it for her husband for Christmas. They're showing my grandson your book.
He's adorable.
Well, of course
What's his
he
name?
is. Beckham.
Oh, what a
So
great
I need
name
a
too.
picture of you holding that.
I love that. Let's do it. That's great. There's some real meta thing
My name's
going on.
Harvey, by the way.
Harvey, pleasure to meet you. Do you mind if we record a little video for her?
I would love that.
All right, let's do that. Hey, Natalie, I just found out from your father that you gave him my book. Thank you so much. I'm sending you so much love and positive energy. I hope you have an amazing year ahead. And it was such a joy to see the book in your home. So thank you so much. There we go.
Thank you.
Of course.
Really
Thank you. It was
appreciate
such a pleasure. Yeah, of course.
What dominant gene got you those eyes?
The truth is that the world we live in will always be uncertain, unpredictable, and potentially include chaos. And the challenge is that in that time, it's very hard to find peace or find calm or find joy. And it's at those times when we can use what we have, wherever in the world we are, to try to positively create peace, to try to serve others, to try to be there for others. That is the only way that we can experience peace, by being peace, by creating peace, by sharing peace, by sharing love. And in terms of what we're looking for, when you're going through something difficult, you can't find happiness, and you often can't find peace immediately. But you can always find meaning and service. And this is how we were trained to think as monks, that in times of uncertainty, don't look for certainty, because you won't find it. Look for service. Look for where you can help, how you can help. Because when you start making a change, even in the smallest of ways, when you start supporting others and helping others, even in the tiniest of ways, you start to see that there's hope, there's possibility, there's opportunity. So start wherever you are. The first thing I'd like anyone to know about me is that I'm dedicated to helping as many people in the world find their purpose. I think that people who've found their purpose are better partners, better parents, better professionals, better people. And so if everyone in the world was deeply aligned and connected to their purpose, the world would be a beautiful place. And I think any pain we see in the world comes from a disconnect with purpose. There's a beautiful thought from Russell Barkley where he said that the people who need the most love often ask for it in the most unloving ways. So we confuse love with power. Yeah. We confuse love with control. We confuse love with validation and being liked. And to me, love comes from living our purpose, self-love and true love with other people. We all have what's called the monk mind and the monkey mind. And as monks, we were trained to look at the parts of our minds that we make mistakes, that fail, that do things wrong is the monkey mind. And immediately when you think of your mind like a monkey, you just end up laughing. You're just like, that's just the silliest thing. And so now when you start seeing yourself do things that are out of character or out of alignment or things that you don't feel proud of, instead of judging yourself and criticizing yourself, you're approaching it going, well, that's just the monkey mind. Let me understand that as separate of me. That is not me. That is a habit that I've taken on. That is a group of people that I've spent too much time with. It's an idea that I've absorbed. If you can look at these things as separate to who you are, you can now actually tackle them versus when you think you are them, it just leads to guilt, judgment, self-criticism, and self-sabotage, which I'm sure a lot of us are privy to, that we go through this period where we're like, I can't believe I did that. I shouldn't have said that. I just wish I didn't say that in that moment. And that doesn't change your behavior. It doesn't switch how you feel. It just creates more regret. Yeah. But when you go, wait a minute, that's just the monkey mind. I've got that condition. I've associated with that type of environment and energy. Let me approach it as something that is separate of me. Creating that distance and space from our challenges lets us actually start solving them. One of the things I talk about in the book that I love, and it makes sense from a perspective that I studied, is that we all have what's called the monk mind and the monkey mind. And as monks, we were trained to look at the parts of our minds that we make mistakes, that fail, that do things wrong as the monkey mind. If you can look at these things as separate to who you are, you can now actually tackle them versus when you think you are them, it just leads to guilt, judgment, self-criticism, and self-sabotage, which I'm sure a lot of us are privy to, that we go through this period where we're like, I can't believe I did that. I shouldn't have said that. I just wish I didn't say that in that moment. And that doesn't change your behavior. It doesn't switch how you feel. It just creates more regret. Yeah. But when you go, wait a minute, that's just the monkey mind. I've got that condition. I've associated with that type of environment and energy. Let me approach it as something that is separate of me. Creating that distance and space from our challenges lets us actually start solving them. There was this amazing moment that I had one of the first days I was at the monastery, and we were inside this room, which was almost like backstage. Like, it wasn't pretty. It was like messy, mixed up, lots of stuff everywhere, which monasteries are like these beautiful, clean spaces. But there was this one room that was almost like a dingy, dirty basement, basically. And so we're in this basement. I'm with one of my monk teachers, and we see this frame, and he makes me look at the frame, and he says, "What do you see?" And I was like, "Well, I see dust. Like, that's what I see." And it was just, there was all this dust over it. And so he took his robe and he wiped the dust, and he wiped it a few times because it was pretty dusty. A lot of the dust came into my face, which I did not appreciate. I was coughing away. And then finally, when he dusted the mirror off, I could see myself. It was a mirror. It wasn't just a frame. It was actually a mirror. And he said to me, he said that your identity is like this dusty mirror. He said, when you first try to understand who you are, all you see is dust. And when you start cleaning, trying to figure out that self-awareness, the first experience you have is dust in your face. You cough, you feel uneasy, it's not comfortable. And then finally, as you keep dusting away on the mirror of your identity, you finally see who you truly are. He said most people never get there because they're too interested in the dust that everyone else throws at their mirror. Yeah. And that's what we get lost in. So I've found that the best way of how, as you said, Ashley, like, how do you do that? One of my favorite ways to do something is when I have a list of choices or opportunities, including this one, I'll write down the reason as to why I'm saying yes to it. So let's say I was invited to 5 different keynotes, and I write down each company that invited me to it. And on top of that company, I'll write down why would I say yes to it? And I'll be honest with myself. And the reason is either money, the reason is ego, the reason is love, the reason is passion, the reason is envy, jealousy, right? It could be any of those. And I'll honestly write down why I would choose that. Or I would write it down because I think my friend's gonna think this is cool, right? I'm gonna be able to message my friends and say, hey, did you know what I did? And so I'll write down that, and I'll write the honest answer down. And now I'll go, well, now how do I upgrade this to be turning up here for love? How do I upgrade this to be turning up here for passion, for purpose? And so when you do that activity, you get to accept and be honest with yourself for the emotion that you're feeling, but then you get an opportunity to say, how do I live an upgraded life? And how do I actually take it a step up? Here are 3 signs you're struggling with a lack of purpose. Number 1, you feel pressure to know what you want to do with your life. Number 2, you've lost interest in your own life and feel disconnected. Number 3, you don't know what your skills are or you feel you lack them. Hope is not lost. You can get through this. Having purpose and meaning in our lives helps guide us through the ups and downs and create structure in our day-to-day life. That's why I've partnered with Calm, the leading app for mental health and wellness. The app has a library with thousands of meditations, songs to help you relax and focus, and sleep stories to help you get a good night's rest. And now you can find the Daily J, a daily series where I'm sharing proven tools and techniques to improve your mindset and mental health in a matter of minutes.